Hello and welcome to the 160th of the Second Photography Podcast. And today's a really interesting episode and maybe a strange one because I'm just going to call this The Realities of Buying Gear from Hong Kong. And it does seem like a really strange episode title. It does seem like a strange thing to talk about. But I recently purchased a camera from a site that ships from Hong Kong. There's going to be substantial cost savings if you do this. But there's probably, and many people might be a bit wary of this, a little bit of risk involved as well. So I used a site called Toby Deals. I think it's Toby Deals UK, and they basically have things in Hong Kong and they ship them to the UK. Obviously, you're going to get a lower price for tech items, but it is shipping from Hong Kong. There are some other things that might put people off. Should you do it? Should you not do it? Well, I'm going to talk about my experiences. I'm not going to tell you if you should do it. I'm not going to tell you you shouldn't do it. It's up to you, but I did take a bit of a calculated risk. So I'd previously bought things from a Hong Kong website called GearBest, and I bought a thermal printer which looked really good, which me and my daughter were going to use for a specific project. And it really wasn't much money with shipping and everything. And it came eventually. And obviously, I'm used to things coming pretty much the next day because if I do buy anything online, it's generally from Amazon and I have Amazon Prime. Generally, things come really, really quickly. But I had to wait ages, which is understandable as it's come from the other side of the world. And when you buy something from a site like that's part of the deal you make. You expect that. But still, I didn't really like having to wait. I don't think anyone does. So it came and I paired it with my phone. It was a smartphone printer. It didn't work. I couldn't get it to work. Uninstalling the app, I tried everything, couldn't get it to work. And in the end, I asked to send it back. The customer services was just dreadful. Initially, it was no, you can't send it back. I had to prove it didn't work. I had to upload a video, but I think they had some weird thing where you could only upload a video file of 2 megabytes. So it took, just to get shipping it back and returning it took ages. Turns out they have a UK depot that you can ship it to. And then I wanted my money back, of course, because it didn't work. It wasn't my fault it didn't work. It wasn't user error. It just didn't work. And so I got my money back, but I didn't get the postage back. And so I said, I want the postage back. I've had to ship it to you. It doesn't work. I want the postage back. And they gave me the postage back, but not all of it. They gave me £4 and it was more than that. So I had to keep going back and back and back. And every time they dealt with me, there was a mistake made. And some of that is going to be a language problem because I'm sure I was dealing with people in Hong Kong, but generally the experience just really put me off. It was dreadful. And I think maybe I've mentioned this in a previous episode. Just dreadful service. They gave me 600 credits to buy more things at GearBest, but I just said, forget it. I don't want it because I would never buy anything from you again. You were dreadful. That's that. But anyway, that's not the point of this podcast. So after that experience, I was quite loath to buy from another Hong Kong website. So you'd get fantastic savings. But I thought, if it's anything like that GearBest website, it'll be dreadful. I came across a site called Toby Deals UK. And I bought from them a gimbal for my smartphone because I do quite a bit of YouTube stuff. So I wanted a gimbal for my smartphone just to get some stabilised footage. And I'd read up on the one I wanted and they had it for under £70. So I thought, well, I'll take a punt on £70. And I took a punt and it was massively cheaper than buying it anywhere else, even on eBay. And in fact, I'm not even sure I could have got a used one for that price at the time. So I got that and it arrived and everything was okay. And my feeling on purchasing from Hong Kong websites changed. Right, I've had one bad experience, one good experience. And what I thought at the time was, I think it's going to depend on your sort of risk to reward ratio. 30 quid was an okay punt. £70 for me was an okay risk. I did notice on Toby Deals that they were saying, as part of their terms and conditions, which I read very thoroughly after my experience with GearBest, that if it gets lost in shipping, that's that. We're not paying. We don't refund shipping, but you can take out additional insurance. But on a £70 item, taking out another £20 worth of insurance, which interestingly, I think you don't get back. If your item does get lost in shipping, you get everything back bar the £20 insurance you paid. It seems ludicrous, but there we are. So £70 seemed an okay punt, and I took the chance on not getting the insurance, and I was happy with it. Again, it took ages to arrive. Recently, I've been sort of thinking about getting a new Canon DSLR. I'd love an 80D. Really, I want this just for doing my YouTube stuff. I want the really nice autofocus. That's all I'm going to use it for, is just YouTubing. So I looked at sort of the lower end models and I found the 200D. Now the 200D, I think the 80D is probably around £1,000, £800. There's also the 200D, the 77D, I think the 750, the 70D has the really nice Canon dual pixel AF autofocus, but they're really expensive. I thought the 200D is going to be the cheapest one to have it. And that's really all I'm buying it for. Oh, and the flip out articulated screen. I'm buying it just for video. And 1080p video, I'm happy with that. I know some people say I should get 4K. I've got cameras that do 4K, but I export at 1080p for YouTube. And actually, you don't notice any difference, in all honesty. So I was looking at the 200D. Now, the 200D on Amazon, body only, was £400. It's not something I need to do YouTube videos. It's just a nice to have. And really, I just want something that I can speed up my YouTube production, and I think that would help me speed it up and do it quicker. But £400 I thought was too much. I had a look on Toby Deals and it was £278. It's worth buying through Toby Deals for that saving of £120. It's definitely worth buying through Toby Deals for that. But now I'm buying something expensive and I'm buying something from Hong Kong. So I had a decision to make, and in the end I decided I would get it from Toby Deals and I would pay the insurance. So I think it came to sort of £299, and I pressed that button and I hoped. So how did I get on and what happened? Well, obviously the price was cheaper, and it took ages to arrive. So I think I made the purchase on Sunday the 4th of November and it arrived on Thursday the 15th of November. So it took 11 days to arrive, which in the age of Amazon Prime and next day delivery, well, in fact, same day delivery is an eon. And they had tracking on your parcel, but the tracking on your parcel was terrible. So I just sound so negative moaning about all these things, but I'm just telling you what it was like. So you had their tracking, which took you to another courier. That courier, it had limited tracking that wasn't updated, and then it took you to another courier, and that took you to another courier. And so I ended up on the Yodel website, which told me estimated delivery on the 13th of November, and it arrived 2 days later. And it didn't really give me any updates until it was delivered, and it says your package has been delivered. So do expect, even if you pay for the premium shipping or insurance, you're going to be waiting at least 10 working days. When I got it, I always give my packages a little shake. I don't know why I do that, but I gave it a little shake and I could hear something knocking around. I thought, that's not a good sign. Something's knocking around. So I opened it up and it was very well bubble wrapped. Congratulations. I couldn't fault you for bubble wrapping. Open it up, there was the box. It was obvious the box had been opened. Oh no, the box has been opened. Now I don't know, at this time I didn't know whether the box had been opened to take out the kit lens. Now the box, non-English from what I can see, it says it's got the kit lens in, but there is no kit lens in, so it's as though they took the kit lens out. The bit that was rattling around was a little plug-in 3-pin adapter that goes into the wall and allows a 2-pin adapter to go into it. So I got out the battery charger. That was the standard one I expected. The cable that connects it to the plug socket was a 2-pin. So that's fine because I'm only charging a battery. I suspect that might be the case. I've actually got a universal battery charger that can do pretty much every battery ever made. So it wasn't a big deal, and I could always buy a battery charger if I needed to, or spare batteries for it if I needed to, simply because I'd saved £100. So there was a little bit of money in the kitty. I was really pleased and thankful to find that everything was fine. The camera is fine, it works, it's in English, everything is fine. I didn't want the kit lens because, one, I've already got a kit lens, and two, I don't want to use a kit lens. I want to use my lenses, and I don't need another kit lens, and I want to use a nice prime lens for the video work I'm doing with it. So the question is, would I buy again from a Hong Kong website? And the answer is, it really depends on the price. I think anything under £100 is a worthwhile punt. I really wouldn't buy something over £300. I don't know. Because it's not a UK website, even though it's called Toby Deals UK, I don't think, I wouldn't be confident that you get the same level of protection that you get from UK websites. Buying expensive things, while I did in this case, I don't know whether it's the best thing to buy from. So I've had 3 experiences with Hong Kong websites. 1 was terrible and 2 were good. So I can honestly say that I am impressed with Toby Deals. If you don't mind waiting, if you're buying something that isn't AC powered, I think you're fine. It's still a third of my experiences with Hong Kong websites have not been good. So what would my advice be? I think I can't tell you what to do. I think it's solely up to you. But I will say with internet shopping and any deals and anything anyone ever offers you, if it seems too good to be true, then you've got to ask yourself, is it worth risking? I got my camera from Toby Deals because I'd had a good experience with them getting the gimbal. The gimbal, I completely took a risk on, particularly after my experience with GearBest. And I'm happy to say it worked out okay. So I hope to do a lot of video work with the Canon 200D or the SL2, I think, in other territories. And maybe I'll give a podcast review of it. I've actually been really impressed with it so far, and it is a big step up from my 550D. And it's actually interesting how much things are improved on sort of the base model. But that is a podcast for another day. Don't forget you can support me on Patreon if you want to support the podcast and not have any ads, any sponsorship, and get some bonus content. And you can do that by visiting patreon.com/160SPP. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter. And I'm going to put the Twitter and Patreon links in the show notes. So have a good day, and thank you for listening.